Hi, welcome back to the Slots with Shawn podcast. My name is Shawn, and today I am joined by the lovely goddess of slots, Lorraine. How you doing today?
I'm well. Thank
I
you for
love
having me.
I love to hear it. Of course, thank you for being here. And I'm sorry that you hit some traffic on your way to the call, but we've made it. We're here.
Hey.
And hopefully, we're going to have a good time here for the next 45 minutes to an hour or so. For folks that don't know who you are, why don't you take a few minutes to share with them who you are and where they can find you?
Sure. My name is Lorraine Ziff. I am the goddess of slots. I'll show you a picture very quickly. That's my little logo,
Love it.
backwards. On Instagram, I am Goddess of Slots. On TikTok, I'm Goddess of Slots 1. And on YouTube,
Mhm.
Goddess of Slots. Those are the places.
Someone beat you to it on TikTok, huh?
Yeah. Man, it was surprising too. That I don't think she even utilizes the logo or anything or the name or anything. So
Mhm.
it's all right.
It's ruthless. It's ruthless. I was even talking to Raja from the Big Jackpot a couple weeks ago, and on Snapchat he has to be Raja Slots because someone took the handle, the Big Jackpot. So as soon as there's a new platform or things like that, you just got to get on it, even if you're going to use it or not, and claim your username.
Yeah.
It's what we got to do. So I have a couple of rapid fire questions prepared for you to get us started, and then we'll see where things go from there. Sound good?
Sure.
Awesome. So, softball toss right off the bat. Favorite slot machine?
I like the Dragon Links. I like pinball and Top Dollar. Those are the ones I gravitate towards. Any Links game.
I hear ya. I'm a big Firelink guy because it's 4 versus 6 balls. But
Right.
if you could travel anywhere in the world without cost in mind, where would you go next?
Interesting you'd ask me that. I'm actually headed to Nevis this Saturday. So I've
That's
never been
awesome.
to, that's where I'm going. Yeah, I travel a lot. I love to travel and I love to always try to find a casino in wherever I am. So just to bring that extra little experience to the channel.
That's awesome.
So
Do you have any like excursions planned or like what are you gonna do while you're there?
I don't know yet. I'm going with some friends. We rented a house and we'll see how it goes. But I just came off of a cruise a week and a half ago, and I got into the casino on the cruise, and that was a lot of fun. And yeah, funny story actually. I right before getting into the casino was having a burger and just super casually and was trying to get towards a table with a whole thing of ketchup. And as I was running towards getting this table, I hit something and the ketchup just went absolutely everywhere. And it was, I mean, it was bad. And and I was wearing a white cover up, and the guy next to me, a young guy, helped me to clean myself up. And afterwards, I was thanking him, and he was telling me how he was on this cruise based upon having won a slot tournament.
Oh
And so they
wow.
gave it to him and his buddy for free. And he came because of his friend, and his friend walked over and said, "Oh, I follow you." And I went, I just had ketchup everywhere. And so that's, so people know I'm a little bit, goofy and clumsy. It was embarrassing.
That that is a great story. I would say now you left that person that follows you with this story too. So when he's watching this video on your feed later, or whatever, he's like, "That's
Yeah,
me. She's talking about
that's
me."
right. That's right. So,
I know we said rapid fire questions, but I want to dive into this cruise a little bit. I saw one of your Instagram posts, I think probably recently from the cruise. Was that going to? What was the ports of call?
so we actually went to a couple of places in Mexico. We went with some friends who were having a birthday. Very last minute, got the last two rooms on the ship.
Hmm.
They said, "We want to do this for a birthday. You want to come?" We said, "We're in." And that's it. We just, we didn't even like tour anything. We got a catamaran, we got off the boat, and that was it. We just had a good time. So
I love
it
that.
was more about being, yeah, it was more about hanging with friends. So
I know some friends of ours want to do the Caribbean, or I feel like I'm over the Caribbean. Like send me to Alaska, send me to the Mediterranean, whatever. But it really comes down to spending time with your friends. So I hear you. I hear you.
exactly. Exactly.
Twist my arm to go on a trip. If you could relocate to any U.S. city, where would you go?
I am, I've lived everywhere. I lived in New York City and I lived in California and now I'm in Florida. I still bounce between these other places, but I'm having a good time where I'm at. Uh, I used to joke all the time that I know these are supposed to be rapid answers, and I'm like
I like it.
going on and on but I used to joke that when I lived in New York, I was pretty average, average if you rated from 1 to 10. And then when I got to California, I was, like a 4.
Stop.
And then I moved to California, and now I live in Florida, and I'm a beauty queen. Maybe I am off the charts where I'm because
You are the goddess.
everybody's like 85 and over here, so it works for me. So I'm happy.
That's the trick. That's the tip of the episode is you have to travel somewhere where people are either really old or ugly. Oh, that's amazing. So why the name Goddess of Slots? Where'd that come from?
Actually, the way the whole thing started is I was at a casino, and my husband actually does a lot of videoing of me when I'm in different places. I come from an acting background, so I've done some films and stuff. So that's if you Google my name, some things will pop up. And he videoed me just as a goof, and we threw it online just as a goof.
Mhm.
And it ended up getting real traction, and people were wanting to watch it. And we were sitting around the table, and I said, "Wow, this is kind of fun." Um, and a friend of mine actually came up with, let's name it and let's do this. And I guess he followed other people, and he said, "Other people are really doing this." And
Yeah.
I was like, "You got to be kidding." He's like, "No, I swear to God." And he started to show me some of the people, like Lady Luck or Slot Hopper Chick and a couple of the other folks. And he actually came up with the name of Goddess of Slots. And again, it was just kind of a goof and it
Yeah.
stuck. I was like, yeah, I kind of like that. It's fun.
He may have come up with Goddess of Slots, but you came up with Goddess of Slots 1. So take, take the
That's
credit.
right. That's right.
So you mentioned that you were in New York, you were in California, now you're in Florida. You say you've lived
Yes.
everywhere, but I'm not hearing the Midwest or anything like that at all. Have you traveled there recently?
You're right. That's very snobby for me to say that I've lived everywhere and not include the Midwest. You're very accurate in that. I have traveled to the Midwest. I've not lived there. So
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. Not to call you out, you know. I feel like we might be tens of the Midwest, so
Okay.
I'm gonna take that bit out. Um, but no, I was on a call with Slot Daddy and Queen Chiquita Bonita a couple weeks ago, and they want to go to Oklahoma to go to WinStar. And I had no idea, like, I've been living under a rock. I had no idea that the largest casino in the US is literally in Oklahoma. Like, so
I
now I
did
have
not
to go.
realize that. Wow, I did not realize that either. I keep getting invites to go there. So it sounds like a place to check out.
I
Yeah,
agree. Maybe I'll see you there. We'll do a little collab.
absolutely.
Going back to your channel really quickly and your brand, I feel like going through your Instagram, every single one of your screen grabs looks exactly like that card that you held up a little bit ago. And I gotta say, I was scrolling through, like, I admire the consistency here. Like, is that deliberate or that's gotta be deliberate, right?
The way I'm dressing, you mean? Or
No, like you next to the slot machine about to hit the button for the bonus, like the way that you're positioned in like the same spot in every screen
so,
grab on
well,
your and it's
ironically,
awesome.
there's another story. When I first started, I put things on TikTok before anything else.
Mm.
And I found that if I stood up and stood to the one side of the machine, this is all, I was like, oh, then I don't have all those things down the other side. So I have to stand on this side in order to make it a clear picture. And that's why I did that. But when I'm actually playing, and people ask me this, when I'm actually playing and before I get into a bonus round, I do sit. I don't stand the entire time. But when I am in a bonus round, I get all hyped up and I just find it more exciting to stand. And when I'm standing, I feel like I don't have my back to people, and that's the reason that I stand. And a lot of times when I'm in a bonus round, I actually have people coming over to me, and I love that. I love when I'm in a bonus round and then people, I feel like it's more inviting to say, yeah, it's okay to come over and talk with me. And
Hmm.
if my back is to people, a lot of times people are afraid to approach. And that's how I started, with people sort of afraid to approach. But when I stand next to the machine, people have no qualms about coming over, rooting along, really getting involved with the game with me, which I love. So I'm like, yeah, come on over.
Hmm.
So that's the purpose for it.
I have to say, I appreciate that too when the folks around you are getting involved in your game as well. It's just more exciting, right?
Yeah,
And
I agree.
like we all face our screens all day long, whether it's our computers, our laptops, our phone, like whatever. So when you're at a slot machine, it's another screen. So like bring the personal connection to it and like bring people in for the excitement. I love that. You mentioned some influencers at the top of the call. You mentioned Lady Luck and some others. Who are your go-to folks for inspiration online?
Well, I love Slot Hopper Chick. She's actually the first person that I watched. And she's so sweet. And we've actually spoken with one another a couple of times. We're always encouraging one another online. I just really like her. I don't know her personally. I hope to meet her at some point. We just keep missing one another, but I
Mm,
really like her. I like Raja, Gambling Guys, Lady Luck again.
mhm.
She's the OG, right? She's the
Yeah.
goat of this. Mr. Handpay, Vegas Matt makes me crack up. The big jackpot, of course. NG slots. I mean, all the. It's just I I love the fact that there's this community, and I love Chico is another one. Raja, of course, and I love the fact that people can encourage one another. I'm always about trying to be positive, and sometimes I'll get people who don't understand what I'm doing, and there can be detractors, of course, online, like
Mm,
why are you doing this, and so on and so forth. But the people within the community all just really encourage one another, and I appreciate that. The Vegas sisters,
mm.
they're adorable, and we always make sure to say nice things to one another. So, and I have a friend who actually always only plays Dragon Lakes and always goes for the blue ball, and now he calls himself the blue ball chaser. Uh, and as a goof, and like if you don't know what that means, it could be like, huh? But his name is also Shawn. But we tend to have a really good time with one another, so we encourage one another, which is nice.
I am afraid to search the blue ball chaser
No,
later.
it's fun because he's always trying to hit the blue ball, I guess, which is the minor.
Yeah.
And, but he gets so worked up about it. I mean, he gets insane. So he's exciting. And we have gone to casinos together and we have played off one another. And that's a blast because the energy in the room is off the charts.
I absolutely love that. There's a few people now that I've been able to connect with here in the Northeast. I'm home based out of the Boston area.
I
And
love the
it,
encore, by the way.
you been to the Encore?
I love the encore. In fact,
I
that's where
love
Blue
it.
Ball Chaser is out of. You'll probably meet him.
Oh, that's awesome. Definitely got to get the contact after this. I'm always looking for people to meet up in the Boston area, and I just saw a TikTok recently of where are all the Boston influencers. Like there aren't really there isn't anybody online like showcasing what's to do around Boston or the casinos or the nightlife or anything. So I think that's an untapped market that I need to get into. But I love Encore. I wish the Mass Gaming Commission was a little bit more lenient with filming and things like that because obviously I have to go other places if I want to do things more legitimately. But um, yeah,
So
definitely. If you
I
come up
actually have, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
now, if you come up again, you gotta let me know because it's a direct flight, I'm sure.
I'm there all the time because I have family there. So I am up there. I don't know if you're familiar with Melissa on the radio, but
Hmm.
she's got a radio station and she actually interviews slot people. So she's, mentioned slots and
Yeah.
she's talked about the encore. She's at the encore all the time also. Uh, Yeah, and that's again where Blue Ball Chaser is, Shawn. And I know you're not supposed to film there, but we just sort of pull the camera out
Yeah.
discreetly. And nobody seems to really stop us, which is good.
Yeah. I was stopped one time, and it's because I was walking the casino floor with my phone out.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So like, it was facing me and everything, right? But it was just they were like, okay, we got to call you out.
yeah, yeah.
Don't, break the rules while you're breaking the rules. Um, Now I know that there's a radio station here in my area that I need to get on. So
Yes,
you gotta
I will
connect.
connect you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be awesome. A lot of the questions that I get online are around what is the day job? So like, what do I do for a living, or what did people do for a living before getting into this? So I'm gonna throw you that question. What do you currently do, or what have you done for a living, or whatnot?
So
Yeah.
I've had I've had about a million day jobs, which is crazy. As I said, I started with the acting thing. So I did a lot of that, which is why I was in New York and why I was in California and films and TV and such like that for a long time. Which is why I think this is so much fun because it's sort of an extension of that. But in addition to that, at one point I was working within a school district as an MSW, as a school social worker, and also have properties that I own and manage now. And my husband and I have an insurance business, which we also manage. So it's like I wear many, many, many hats.
Sounds
There's
it.
and there's also that entrepreneurial thing, right? So it takes a chunk of time to post and on all the different social platforms, and then have subscribers and talk to them separately, especially on IG. And then of course I have merchandise and so it's every day is something different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned the merch, so I have to call myself out really quick for having my own stuff on today. And
I
I,
love
uh,
it.
I told you before the call that Slot Daddy, I don't know if you follow him or not,
I
has a
do.
rule against wearing it. He worked for a reggae band before in a past life, and he would had a rule about wearing his own stuff. So call out to Slot Daddy.
I think you're much more handsome than your picture there, by the way.
Uh,
On your
well, well, now it made my life right there. Thank you so much. That's the fresh haircut. That's what does it.
That's what it is. But people ask me if this picture is actually my physical person, and it actually is not, but pretty damn close.
Do you want to throw it back up on the screen for reference? That's exactly, I feel like, the pose that I see in every one of your Instagram posts.
You're
I love it.
probably
I love the consistency.
probably right.
Um, go back to casino-based questions. Another one of the most frequently asked questions that I get is the biggest win that I've ever had. For me, it was 14,000 on I know I'm going to butcher the name. It was like a Foo something dragon game at MGM Springfield in Massachusetts. Uh, but what is that for you? What was that win?
I actually have one reel that I show where I did the buffalo, but it was the wheel.
Mhm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
So it runs like like a Wheel of Fortune, but it's buffalo. And that was a nice size. That was like 17 or 19. I think the biggest I ever won was probably about 30,000 at one stop.
Mhm.
And that's the Dragon Link. So that tends to be one of my more favorite games for that reason.
Mhm.
Uh, I guess that's why I go towards that.
Say those Locket Link games, the hold and spin games, like those have huge potential if you hit it right.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I just watched a video about 20 minutes before our call, actually. Um, it was an all aboard, and it was a mega on the first spin, and the person got six additional trains on a $25 bet. So it was like
Wow.
$68,000 or something like that. It was insane.
Wow.
I was like, $25, that's not far off from what I play sometimes when I'm getting a little bit antsy in the seat. So, like, that could be me.
That's very neat. I love to hear about people winning.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm sure, that person has given it back already and then some. But, winning is good. Winning is still good.
Absolutely.
You're in Florida at the moment, and I think it was the Hard Rock down there that's had a couple $1 million wins now on the Dragon Link games.
That is
Um,
exactly right.
yeah, I think one woman or maybe two people at this point have won them multiple times, And I need to see what that bankroll is. I need to see what they're just like sitting there
It's
spending.
funny that you would say that because I actually just met one of the ladies who's an older lady who's won twice. And yeah, she's won and she's given it back and she's won and she's a very, very lovely lady and they
Yeah,
know her very well there.
I'm sure she's very well taken care of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very sweet though. Just absolutely and almost matter of fact because I was like, "Oh my God, you're this winner." And she's like, "Yeah." That was basically her exact response. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
me.
I mean, she's pretty humble about it, which was very cool, you know.
That is so cool. It's like meeting a celebrity, like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you're the legend. You get the $1 million Dragon Link twice.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. But of course, there has to be a certain level of dedication to, to win like that.
For
But
sure.
you're right about the Hard Rock. The Tampa Hard Rock, which is the one I most frequent, is the one that's had the millions. And
Mhm.
there's a non-smoking, which is upstairs, and downstairs is smoking. And so I'll play in the high limit downstairs, or I'll go upstairs because I prefer the non-smoking. And I
Mhm.
actually made a comment to one of the hosts, the upstairs stuff doesn't hit as much. And I've been in both places. And then the next week, of course, somebody, not me, got the $1 million upstairs.
They
Oh,
turned it on after your comment.
you're welcome.
Yeah, you'll take your 5% via Venmo, right? Um, I am constantly getting, comps and different deals from casinos and resorts, Vegas, the Northeast, Biloxi, and Mississippi. I haven't gotten any for Florida yet, so I don't think I'm playing at the right places. But what are some of the neatest or more fun comps that you've been able to get as a higher limit player?
Well, to me, I love the concerts, actually.
Hmm.
Um, Anything, comedy or concerts or music, like we're going to see the Eagles at the Hollywood Hard Rock. But we've seen a lot of different concerts based off of the comps, which I've loved. Encore has always given just wonderful suites that I could fit three houses in, so that always makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know? Um, the one thing that I really love, in particular, Hard Rock Tampa, is if they know it's a birthday or an anniversary or something special, they really go out of their way to make it special. And I think that's one of the reasons I constantly go back there. Just they know how to take care of their people.
Mm.
I really, really, really appreciate that. So,
See, the personal touches go a long way, for sure.
exactly.
Before I moved out in the Boston area, I was closer to the MGM Springfield property, and Aerosmith was doing a residency in Vegas at one of the MGM properties, but they were doing a regional resort tour, so going to National
Nice.
Harbor and going to Atlantic City and came to Springfield, and I got meet and greet passes and like
Nice.
front row tickets to their show. And I got to bring a friend of mine who was a huge, huge Aerosmith fan. And it was like the excitement of being able to share that with someone, that personal experience was just worth more than the concert itself. So I definitely,
Great.
definitely share in that. And then I was in Vegas this past August, I think, for my bachelor party, and had a couple rooms under the same reservation for my name. And each of the rooms on the reservation got a bottle of wine and a card, like congratulating me and my guests for my
Oh, that's
wedding and
awesome.
everything. So it was a small gesture, but like everyone that I was with was just so excited because they got the special delivery like to the room and like a handwritten card from the host and everything. So shout out to Park MGM, or really the Nomad, but Park MGM for that kindness too. So,
That's wonderful. It's what you said. It's the personal touch. It's
hmm.
when they go that extra little step. I try not to ask for too much, but when they just
Mm.
sort of spoil you, that
Yeah,
makes it even nicer, right?
yeah, yeah. They're like, "Ooh, today was kind of painful for you. Let me do this for you."
Here's
Uh,
breakfast.
no, I think you mentioned Vegas Matt a little bit ago, and I think he said it on a podcast recently really well, in that some people pay, upwards of $50,000 a year for country club memberships, or they pay exorbitant amounts of money for other experiences. And he is living his life as a professional gambler and content creator, doing all of those experiences and then some. If he wants to go to a five-star resort, he does it every weekend. If he wants the best dinners, he's getting that every day if he wants it. And so I always try to, when I think of comps, I try to think of it now through that mindset of like, I was already going to gamble, right? So these extra things just like make my experience that much more enjoyable. Um,
Exactly.
so it's awesome.
Exactly. I have another funny story to share with you.
Yeah.
Um, I was just recently at the eye doctor, and there was there's a copay or whatever, but I'd been there. It's a friend. And so at the end, the nurse was saying to me, "Oh, and there's no copay." And I said, "No, no, there is." And I'm like arguing with her that there is a copay and that I wanted to pay her. And the person that I was with turned to me and said, "They're comping you the eye visit." I said, "Oh, okay, got it." So that's.
Yeah, you got to put in a player's terms, right? You got.
Oh, yeah, got it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, and you work in insurance, right? So,
Right. No,
it's too
but
good.
different thing. Yeah, no, it's a cute little story. Congratulations on your wedding, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, November 4th was the date. So, nice fall wedding down in North Carolina.
Oh, that's
Very
beautiful.
nice. Yeah, beautiful sunny and 70 and beautiful foliage behind us. So, zero complaints.
Good, good. Many
Both
years
with the
of
day
happiness.
and the person. So,
Wonderful.
you mentioned some of your upcoming travel. Are you heading back to Vegas anytime soon?
I don't have Vegas immediately on my plans. I'll probably get to the Encore before I get to Vegas, and I do
Mm.
have uh, some more Caribbean type stuff that I'm doing, and then I'll definitely be in Jersey in the summers because I don't want to die in Florida in the summers. So, so that basically means a lot of Atlantic City, and there I'll play at Borgata and I'll play at Hard Rock. Those are my two. I go to all of the places, but those are my two predominants.
Say,
Yeah.
I love the Borgata.
I mean,
I haven't been to the Hard Rock's newer, right? It's on the
it
newer side.
is.
Yeah, I
It
haven't
is.
been there yet, but Borgata I think is just it's up there with like the Bellagio and like other higher
Great.
end MGM resorts. So
Yeah,
if you haven't been and you're watching this, you should check it out. I don't make
definitely.
commission, but you should check it out.
When is the last time you were at the Borgata? Because they've completely redone a
Hmm.
lot of it.
I think it's probably been maybe 2 years,
Ah,
maybe
okay. I'll
three.
get back there. They last year they did a huge renovation and they really did a great job. And the other piece was everybody that I was there with, including myself, was just hitting wildly. It's almost like
Hmm.
all the machines were turned on all summer long. It was wonderful. So,
And then tighten up real quick for the fall and winter.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. No, I had a similar experience. I not at Borgata, but at Foxwoods. I haven't been there in years, and then I went back for Sloticon back in early January,
hmm
and it was my first time back in a while. They were very kind to me with some comps and my stay and some food and all that kind of fun stuff. But they were kinder to me on the gaming floor, quite frankly. A couple hand pays, some nice like just underhand pay like some jackpots, and it just felt like every machine I sat at, I was like, I'm gonna wake up. This is a dream. I'm gonna wake up. This is a dream. So, yeah, similar experience. It just felt like everything was on that day or that weekend. So,
I love that.
um, and I've been back since, and it hasn't gone off yet. So maybe
That's your
maybe I'll
new
stop
pet
talking
play.
about it now. I know. I've been a channel now for just about 2 years. I think March like 7th or 8th is my actual anniversary, but I'm going down to Foxwoods on March 2nd for some anniversary live play and doing a small like group experience and doing dinner and all that kind of fun stuff. Um, and so that might be my home base now. I love you, Encore, but
Nice.
Foxwoods gives me that recording pass.
Ah, there you
uh,
go.
Yeah, right. You mentioned the Tampa Hard Rock. Is that your home base? Is that where you play most frequently?
That is. That is definitely where I'm
Yeah.
treated the best. It's close to my house, so that makes life very easy. I am going to Hollywood next week before I go on to Nevis. But again, when I'm in New Jersey, then it becomes the Hard Rock or Borgata. Those are my home there. And when I'm in Boston, it's always the Encore. Um, I was just recently, for the first time, at Beau Rivage, and the same type of experience. Like the first 2 days wasn't hitting, and the last day I was like, that's it. I don't even think I'm gonna gamble. And then, oh, what the heck? And then I won everything and more back, and I was like, okay, I kind of dig this place now. It's almost like they were like, oh, we got to pull her back. Let's make something work for her.
I've heard really great things about that resort. I get flight offers every so often. They try to like pull me down with like a cheap flight and my comped room and free
That's
play and
that's
all that kind of fun
exactly
stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah.
I did. I did the free flight, the comp room, all the food,
Mm.
and then with the hit, I got a new host and walked out with a lot of money in my pocket. So I was very happy. I walked out with like 10 grand in my pocket and everything for the whole time comped, and I was like, this was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad day's work. Yeah.
No,
Um,
exactly.
One of the questions I've been asking every creator that I've had on this season is what is one of your unexpected challenges that you've come across as a creator in the past couple of years?
Um, well, I don't know that I have YouTube. I haven't gotten the knack of YouTube as well as I have with Instagram because my reels tend to be shorter.
Mm.
And so I think as a result, YouTube doesn't love me as much. So that's been a challenge, is trying to get the YouTube going. The TikTok and the Instagram have been great. And again, as I said earlier, when gets out there and I'm able to get people who know what they're following, then it's great. But sometimes you get people who don't, and then they make nasty comments or whatever. And it's like, well, gee, that's not very nice. Like, why? Just switch the channel. Why do you have to say something mean? You know what I mean? But hey, that's what a delete button is for, right?
For sure. I deleted a lot when I first started. I don't love the sound of my own voice, and I guess the internet doesn't either. And like, shut up, or like, stop talking, or you talk too much, or like, whatever. And now I just leave them in. I'm like, that's engagement. You're gonna boost my video. Keep talking, whatever. I don't care.
Right.
Um, and I just had a really long conversation about this with John from NJ Slot Guy. I don't know if
Mhm.
you've met him before or follow him, but just there's going to be hate everywhere we go. That's just kind of our world, and you just gotta ignore it. You just
Yeah.
gotta learn when to shut yourself up and just let them do what they're gonna do, and the world's gonna see them for who they are, and you continue to grow. So just kind
Yeah.
of,
There's a phrase actually that I tell everybody all the time, which is don't engage the trolls,
mm-hmm.
and that's good.
It's gonna be one of the titles for a clip. Don't
There
engage
you
the
go.
trolls. Yeah. If you weren't able to do this anymore, you couldn't post your casino content. What would be your go-to passion? Like, where would you start next?
Hmm. I'm constantly reinventing myself, so it could be any number of things.
I was gonna say, I feel like you've lived a life of pivoting, the moves, the different jobs, like whatever. So this could be a good question for you.
Yeah, you know, I that's a good question. I don't really know. I mean, I take every single day as it comes at this point in my life. So, I don't know. I kind of go where the wind goes. Somehow, some way I'll be entertaining because it's kind of what I was born to do.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't, that's a good question.
I
Yeah.
feel like you've had a lot of reinventions of yourself, and so maybe this is the one. This is it now. You're gonna.
Yeah,
You're
I
not gonna have to
don't,
pivot again.
I don't know. Like even on my channel, which I think differentiates me from other people, all the clothing that I wear in every single reel is all clothing that can be bought. So it's not only just posting myself having winnings, but there's also which you go to like Goddess of Slots one. Yeah, oh, Goddess of Slots one at gmail.com. And you can buy any of that clothing. I'm not I just model this stuff. I'm not directly involved with the sales or anything like that. But that's something else. It's another little piece, a little fashion thing. So, you know, just take it where it goes.
So I think that's the answer, right? It's fashion. That could be the next thing.
It could be.
Yeah. I was talking to one creator not too long ago about how simple some of our names are. Like Slots with Shawn, like it's not original at all. I play slot machines and my name is Shawn. So I gotta say, go back to your name. I definitely admire that there's some creativity there. I know you don't get the credit for it, but um, I definitely admire the creativity of that name because like Slots with Shawn, it's so lame. It's,
No, but it's direct. It's direct, not lame.
you know what you're getting. You're getting Shawn and you're getting some slots. That's it.
There you go. With me, you never know.
Yeah. That's amazing.